was asked by one viewer to share one of my best experiences, or one of my most dramatic experiences was or is, and I have to say life experiences, first of all, just to answer the practical, because I'm not sure whether they meant spiritual or physical. My best life experiences honestly are my family, and how blessed I feel to have such a wonderful family, and the birth of each of my 6 children and raising my children. Like, if I could sum it up, they're the thing that is the most important to me, my 6 children for sure. So I feel very, very blessed to have been given a beautiful family by God, obviously. And it's very, very hard to sum up from a spiritual perspective my greatest experiences, because over the last 20 years I've been so very, very blessed by God, by Jesus, by heaven, with some very, very profound spiritual experiences, and so many of them. 20 years literally of quite regular experiences of seeing and knowing Jesus, God the Father, Mary, angels, but then of course the dark side of spiritual attack from Satan and demons, which I've witnessed to many times. So I would have a difficult time choosing one out of all of the experiences of the last 20 years to say this one is my most profound or my most wonderful. So I thought what I would do instead is to share the ones that are the most poignant and the most powerful for me from each of the personas that I have experienced from heaven. And I'm going to start with Jesus, because he's absolutely the most beautiful person you could ever meet. And I don't even do it justice by saying the word beautiful. Jesus appears, I can't even convey to you the profound holiness, the aura, the image, the air around him, the sanctity and the holiness that is Jesus. That is the first most important thing that I would say, is that he just glows with an aura of light, which is love at the same time, and it is the odor of sanctity, perfection and sanctity. I cannot explain it anymore. And one of my most profound experiences of him was earlier on, I don't know the date exactly, but was me lying in bed dreaming and having him come in spirit form through my open door of my bedroom. And he came over me in this spirit form and opened his arms, and as he did, I saw his sacred heart, and his sacred heart exploded forth in what I can only describe as an atom bomb or a nuclear bomb of love. And as this atom bomb exploded over me, I was raised up and lifted into a state of ecstasy that I cannot describe. I kind of lost, even in the dream, anything except being immersed in this ecstasy of being bombarded by the love from the sacred heart of Jesus. And of course, after that experience, he left me with a very large cross, which I've heard he often does. I heard this after the fact, that when you have to walk through a difficult period, there'll be a consolation that's provided. So I want to give you that as encouragement. But the long cross he left over me was still beautiful and intricately jeweled and ornate gold, but a very, very large one. And I liken it to some of the spiritual persecution I've had over the years as someone who's had to do this work for God and sharing my journey. So that's one of Jesus that was just the most profound and beautiful, but I've been blessed to have had so many. So maybe in future I'll be sharing more detailed, specific ones, one at a time, so you get more of the imagery associated with each experience. From God the Father, one of the most profound ones was also an earlier one where I was being given a vision, and then being blasted in spirit by God the Father, and then lifted out of my body and hurtling through galaxies to being brought face to face with God the Father. That one was an absolutely overwhelming experience of God our Father, and in that experience, I saw God as this absolutely radiating sphere of light. It was the face of God. I knew it was the face of God. And across this radiating sphere of yellow-white light, it just crackled with electrical currents, fiery energy that just constantly crackled all over top of the face of God. And it did not resemble a human face, I must say. It was just this radiating sphere of energy in yellow-white light with bands coming off of it and fiery, crackling electrical energy. And in this dream experience of God the Father, he was showing me how our prayers and sacrifices obtain power and grace from him. He's got an epicenter from which he is depthless, and he was drawing energy out and firing these balls of energy into people's lives in response to prayer. So this was an experience where I was shown how God the Father literally answers our prayers. It was like a little inside spiritual glimpse into the truth that our prayers obtain grace for ourselves and for other people. Always in accordance with his permitting and ordaining will, of course, because he knows what is best for us as a father. But one of the most amazing dreams, and I did not want to go back to my body at the end. When I was made aware at the end after seeing this that it was, I had to be put back in my body, I was protesting, no, I don't want to go back, because believe me, when you see the things of heaven, it's so much more beautiful. There's a lot of beauty to be found in the world and love, but nothing like heaven. Then I come to Mary, our mother, and honestly, I'm really happy to be sharing some of my experiences with Mary to anyone who will listen, really, because as a Protestant who grew up in the United Church and who converted to Catholicism, did the RCIA in around 2001, I really have come to understand since that I didn't realize there was a lot of discord between Protestants and those of other Christian denominations and Catholics, and a lot of it centers around Mary. And it makes me kind of sad, actually, that there's this chaos, and I think part of it is because Satan is drumming it up. I'm not condemning or saying anything against anyone in particular of different Christian denominations. What I mean is that I did not have an understanding of Mary as the mother of Jesus when I grew up. I saw her as the mother in the manger scene and Jesus' mother, and that was about all. I did not understand or know much of Mary's role until I had experiences of her and became Catholic. And I have to say, one of my most vivid experiences of Mary was her appearing to me in a park, and she was holding that little short rope and asking me to pray to her as Mary, undoer of knots, which I had not heard of until the dream. And I have to say, the essence of Mary is one of the utmost humility and holiness, purity, demureness. I hope I've used that word right. She is so gentle and humble and kind that she understates anything she has to tell you, even if it's a chastisement. And she seeks nothing for herself, but only wishes to draw you to a place of safety, which is a relationship with her son. So I urge people out there to seek Mary and a better understanding of Mary. So that's my detailed, powerful experiences of Mary, Jesus, and God the Father. And in future, I'll share some of angels and then Satan and demons that got to be featured, unfortunately. But very, very powerful. If I had to choose some, those are some of my favorites from the last 20 years.